Yeah, where would I find Mr. Anderson?
He's over there.
Thank you. Dig her up again, will you? It's the magistrate's orders. Are you Arthur Anderson?
Yes?
Superintendent Dunphy of the Criminal Investigation Department of New Scotland Yard. You're, I'm afraid, on a rather disagreeable mission.
Well, I don't think anybody comes here on a pleasant mission, Mr. Dunphy.
Yes, you're right.
Would you mind holding these for a minute?
What?
Thank you.
Here we are. Yeah, this paper, Mr. Anderson, is the magistrate's order for the exhumation of Mrs. Gladys Henderson's body. It is to go to London for an autopsy, eh? Somebody's preferred charges. Somebody who questions the cause of your wife's death. So you may have to stand trial for murder.
And who made the charge?
The company that you insure with, eh? The British and Commonwealth Insurance Company.
Thank you.
Another of your family, sir?
Yes, my wife.
Your wife, you say? Well, that means they're digging up the wrong woman.
No, wait. This was my previous wife.
You had me worried then. You've already been married, have you?
3 times.
I see. 3? Ooh. That's quite a handful, eh?
Piper, please.
Yeah, then 2 new, please. There.
Oh,
There.
what is it?
Are you Arthur Anderson?
Yes, sir?
You are charged that on the 12th day of June, 1970, within the jurisdiction of this, the Central Criminal Court, you did murder Gladys Anderson. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Are you the senior forensic officer at New Scotland Yard?
Yes, sir.
And did you carry out the post-mortem on Gladys Anderson?
Yes, sir, I did.
Would you tell the court your findings?
It was impossible to establish the cause of death with absolute certainty. Mrs. Anderson apparently died from drowning.
Would you please explain to the court the exact sense in which you used the term apparently?
Yes. The post-mortem showed the presence of a large dose of the barbiturate seconal in the bloodstream of the deceased.
How large a dose?
In my estimation, a lethal dose.
How do you tie this up with your reference to drowning, Doctor?
It's my opinion that when Mrs. Anderson went into the swimming pool, she was already in a comatose condition.
Mr. Mitchell, is it right that you, in your capacity as managing director of the British and Commonwealth Insurance Company, requested an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Mrs. Anderson's death?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Mr. Anderson has been widowed 3 times, and as his 3 wives all carried life insurance with my
Objection,
company...
my lord. Can this really be admissible? Are the prosecution really suggesting that it is reprehensible to be a widower? I am one, my lord, and if I might be impertinent, I believe your lordship is one, too.
I find it quite admissible.
You say that Mr. Anderson had insured the lives of his 3 wives with your company. Would you mind telling the court the amount of these insurance policies?
For the first Mrs. Anderson, £5,000. For the second, £40,000. For the third, £120,000.
And if I'm not mistaken, that comes to £165,000 over a period of 3 years. Evidently the profession of widower is a remunerative one for Mr. Anderson.
My lord, really?
Yes, I think that's an improper remark. Delete it.
My apologies, Your Lordship. Mr. Mitchell, would you tell the jury what was the exact nature of the claims Mr. Anderson had previously made to your company?
He told us that the first Mrs. Anderson died in a traffic accident when she was driving his car, which had faulty brakes. That the second Mrs. Anderson was killed when she fell from a building under construction, which she was visiting with her husband. And that the third Mrs. Anderson died from an overdose of barbiturates, which her husband had bought.
Swear by Almighty God that the evidence I will give to this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Anderson, you have made a plea of not guilty. Then why did you conceal the true cause of the death of your wife? The certificate you tricked Dr. Brooke of Ludfew into signing only stated embolism of the lung.
I thought my wife died of drowning. I didn't want a post-mortem to be done.
Very touching. And didn't you have other motives for pretending your wife had died a natural death? Answer the question, Mr. Anderson.
My other wives died in accidents. This time, I was afraid.
Afraid of what, Mr. Anderson? Oh, no, you don't need to reply. It would be quite logical to be afraid, Mr. Anderson. I am going to ask you a question you are not obliged to answer. But if you choose to do so, remember you are under oath. When you married each of your prospective wives, were you in love with them, or were you merely interested in their fortune?
My lord, that cannot be a proper question.
You may continue. The witness will answer the question.
Yes, I loved them. I never lied to them.
And were you still in love with them at the moment of their death? Weren't you tired of them? Weren't you weary of having to live with a woman you no longer loved?
The most important thing in my life has been love. I can't live with a woman that I don't love.
Answer the question. Did you or did you not love them at the time of their death?
No, I did not love them.
Felicity Downing.
Felicity Downing.
I have served in Mr. Anderson's house for 15 years, and I'm quite certain he's never killed anybody.
The jury will decide that, Mrs. Downing. I only want to ask you a few questions. Was Mrs. Anderson in the habit of taking barbiturates?
Yes.
Since when?
A few months after she was married. She seemed to change in many ways. From being a very happy, outgoing person, she became sad and hardly ever left the house. I think she was ill.
Mrs. Downing, could you tell the court if the conjugal relations between Mr. and Mrs. Anderson were, shall we say, affectionate?
You mean, were they in love with each other?
Did they sleep together?
No. For some months, Mr. Anderson had been sleeping in the guest room.
No more questions, my lord.
Witness may stand down.
Is anything wrong, Mrs. Downing?
Well, sir, the prosecutor wouldn't allow me to answer the questions as I wanted. But now I can see that you're accusing Mr. Anderson unjustly. And there are a few things that I would like to add to my testimony.
I object, my lord. This is highly irregular. The witness has already given her evidence.
If the witness has something important to say, let her return to the witness box. Mrs. Downing, you are still under oath. You may proceed.
On the night before Mrs. Anderson died, I seem to recall it was 10:30, I went into Mrs. Anderson's room. She had a glass and some pills in her hand. She was going to swallow a whole bottle of Seconal. I forced the glass and the pills away from her and told her I would tell Mr. Anderson. The poor woman began to cry. She begged me not to say anything to anyone. And now I'm paying for not doing so. The fault was mine. If I'd told someone, she would still be here.
Mr. Foreman, have you reached a verdict upon which you're all agreed?
Yes.
Do you find the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
We find the prisoner not guilty.
Promised to take me to the sale at Selfridge's.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. We'll get there.
My own fault. I should have gone this morning with Mrs. Harris. It's in your own interest. She told me they got some lovely shoes there for only £3. What are you looking at? Who's that man?
He's the one and only man I admire. He's had 3 wives, dear. And he got rid of them all. And it made him rich. I'll only be a moment.
What's the matter with you? You're not on duty today.
The police, dear, are always on duty.
Hello, Superintendent.
I fancy seeing you here, Anderson.
Why are you following me?
Oh, Lord, no one follows you. You must have a very fertile imagination. Anderson, if you're thinking of taking a holiday, I suggest you pick somewhere like the Bahamas. Best time of the year now. You won't get bored, as there are hundreds of rich, beautiful girls there looking for adventure.
Have you anything specific to say to me, Mr. Dunphy?
All right, I'll be frank with you. I'm not happy you got off today, because I'm sure you committed murder. And I intend to prove it.
You're forgetting I can't be tried for the same offense twice.
And you are forgetting, Mr. Anderson, there are many women still left in the world, especially in the sunny Bahamas. Fascinating millionairesses, You will be married again in no time, I bet you.
Oh, no, I won't. But if I want to, you won't stop me.
On the contrary, I'd like to see it. I'll just wait. I'm an expert at that, Mr. Anderson.
Have you ever been in love?
I've been married for 20 years. So, of course, I've been in love.
And it's easy to see that you're happily married, Mr. Dunphy. Congratulations. Doesn't happen to everyone.
Mr. Anderson, why didn't you let me know you were coming back? I'd have had the house in order.
I'm only staying a few days.
If you want, I can make you something to eat.
No, thank you. I'm not hungry.
Should you want anything at all, sir, just ask. I know what you've been through.
Thank you. Felicity, what you said in the court about Mrs. Anderson, was that true?
No, sir.
Then why did you say it?
I wanted to help you, sir. Things seem to be getting so complicated.
Do you think I'm guilty?
No. It's the very last thing I'd think of. I've been putting a few things away, things that might make you suffer. There's this portrait. Shall we put it back up on the wall?
No, put it away.
I'll go and put it up in the attic.
Felicity?
Yes, sir?
You've been with me for 20 years, and I know that you're very fond of me, as I am of you, but do you think I'm a strange man?
Why should you ask that, sir?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't feel anything. At first I was almost afraid of coming back here, but now it's like nothing had happened. The house is no emptier than it was before.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Swimming.
Very funny.
I felt so hot. This is the only house in the neighborhood with a pool.
What are you doing here? Looking for a story? I mean, you work for some newspaper?
Me? I don't even read the newspapers. Hand me the towel, will you? Say, are you so important that the journalists come at midnight to interview you?
I'd be obliged if you'd leave.
I'm sorry. I suppose this is your property.
Yes, it is, and you are trespassing.
Oh, don't be angry. The house has been dark for such a long time, so I've used the pool. I didn't think there was anybody living here.
Miss, look, I don't know who you are, and I don't really...
Julie Spencer. I don't suppose you'd invite a neighbor in for a glass of whiskey.
I'm sorry, I prefer to be alone.
Oh, well, over and out. What a pity. I certainly have enjoyed this swimming pool. Are you sure you don't want to be more friendly?
Quite sure.
Maybe you'll miss me once I'm gone.
Miss Spencer, why did you really come here?
I told you, because it was hot and I wanted to swim. I live in that Dracula house on the other side of the lake. If you come calling on me, I'll offer you a drink. Bye-bye. Hello? Yes, it's me. I just met him.
Isn't it a little dangerous so near the edge?
I wonder what you think about in that instant when you know you're going to die.
Never bothered me. Now, you come away from there. You're making me nervous.
I come here often. I like this spot. It changes appearance according to the mood you're in. The first time I came here, I was very depressed. What are you doing here?
Oh, I was just passing by.
And you thought, there's the girl I met the other night. Now I'll just stop by and apologize.
No, that wasn't exactly my intention.
Oh? Well, why are you here?
Like I said, just passing by.
I confess I knew you were at home the other night. I stopped in deliberately.
I thought so.
Well, I was curious to find out what you were really like. You're different than the newspaper photos.
Better or worse?
Just different. Do, you control your impulses? When I have an impulse, I can't resist it.
Well, I'm learning to. I passed by your house the other day, and I didn't come in.
Your house is full of feminine details. Did your last wife decorate it?
My last wife and the one before.
Well, still, I would have done it differently.
Well, of course, I've only seen your house from the outside, but it seems a bit big for one person, doesn't it?
That's true. Why don't you invite me to stay here?
Haven't you any family?
I have no immediate family left. My only sister died recently. I lived in that house when I was a small child. That was a long time ago.
Not that long ago.
My grandmother raised me in America. America's always seemed more like home. The house here was always a sad house. I had to come back to see it, see if there was anything worthwhile remembering. But there wasn't. There was a painting here, wasn't there? Of Gladys.
Yes?
I thought I wanted to collect memories, but it is better to wipe them out. That's not always easy, is it? Arthur, were you happily married to Gladys?
No.
Why not?
Well, getting married's like going into a tunnel. Sometimes you just don't come out the other side.
But you've been happy with me the past few days. Isn't that true?
Julie, what is it you want?
Don't you know? Who's there? Who are you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was told this house was up for rent and...
Well, whoever told you that was mistaken. I live here.
Oh, then you are...
Julie Spencer.
Oh, excuse me for disturbing you. I'd better go.
Who are you?
It's not important. I just thought the house was up for rent, that's all. Are you going to be living here very much longer?
I don't know.
Do you live here alone?
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
No, never. No, I am sure you haven't.
Good morning, Felicity.
He's not at the house today.
When will he be back?
I don't know. 2 or 3 months. He's gone abroad.
Abroad?
Yes, he decided on the spur of the moment.
Where's he going?
Miss Julie, take my advice. Don't look for him or you might regret it.
Why? Do you think I'm in danger? Where's he gone?
Mr. Anderson said I was to tell no one, especially not you.
Tell me. Arthur, don't go.
How did you know where to find me?
Felicity told me where you were. Why are you leaving me?
Julie, the hovercraft's leaving in a few minutes.
But if you run away, what will I do?
Whatever it was you were doing before we met, I suppose. Now listen, Julie, I don't know whether you're from the police or the insurance company or just an ordinary woman. And quite frankly, I don't really care.
That's not true. I know how you really feel about me. But I didn't think you were such a coward. What are you afraid of? The newspaper headlines? Arthur Anderson marries for a 4th time. How long will this wife last?
Julie, I've got to get on board.
Oh, of course they'll be following you, and there'll be nasty gossip about both of us. But it doesn't matter to me, not in the least. I love you. This is for you.
What is it?
An insurance policy for £50,000. And you're the beneficiary.
But why?
To prove I trust you.
How did you come to pick this company?
Well, it's the company you've always used, isn't it? When I told the managing director your name, he nearly wept. Why don't we invite him to the wedding?
Yeah.
May the good Lord watch over you and keep you both in health and happiness. I hereby pronounce you man and wife. Those whom the Lord hath joined together, let no man put asunder. Amen. Oh, don't forget, your witnesses must sign the book.
I hope you'll both be very happy together.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was afraid you were going to be late.
I am late. Sorry about that.
Would you like to kiss the bride?
Of course. Mrs. Anderson, may I ask you why you insisted I be a witness at your wedding?
I wanted to set your mind at rest.
Set my mind at rest?
Yes, this time your company has made a good deal.
We intend to be very, very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Goodbye.
I hope you have an eternal honeymoon.
Would you be so kind as to sign the book?
I think that woman's just done the most stupid thing in her entire life.
If that turns out to be the case, the responsibility will be ours.
Want me to carry you up?
Oh, don't be old-fashioned. What's in here?
No, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, I wanted to see my house.
Just the guest rooms.
And this? It's It's locked.
It leads up to the attic.
Oh. Anything interesting up there?
No, just a lot of old things. Yeah, I'll show you something really important.
Ah.
Would you like some champagne?
Yes, very cold. Oh, Arthur. And don't be too long, huh?
Mr. Anderson? The same as usual?
Yes, as usual.
Oh, excuse me, sir. What made you decide to remain here for tonight? You know, that's a little unusual.
My wife preferred to stay here. Good night, Felicity. Julie? Julie? Well, well, well. The champagne is getting cold, and so am I.
I'm sorry. It's just my feminine curiosity.
Really? Now, what's so damn fascinating about this attic that you couldn't wait to get up here?
I was looking at these paintings. That was Gladys, wasn't it?
So what? If there was something up here you wanted to see, you only had to ask me. You didn't have to break in. Now then, who are you and why are you spying on me?
Let go!
Not until you tell me what you're looking for.
You are hurting me!
Hurting you? You deceitful little bitch, I ought to break your bloody neck!
Is that what you did to Gladys?
Open the door! Is the lady of the house at home?
The one who lived here?
Uh-huh.
She left very early, Gov.
You know where she went?
She went that way, towards the coast. She was in a bleeding hurry and all.
You may take that fan away. The place is already let.
Hello, Felicity. Has my wife come back?
No, sir, not yet. And she hasn't called either.
No, I don't think anything's happened to her. I think I know where to find her. Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Anderson.
What can I do for you, sir?
I'd like to report that my wife has disappeared.
Well, wasn't she buried a month ago?
Oh, don't be so damn stupid. I'm talking about my new wife.
Ah, so you've been married again?
Yes.
When?
Yesterday, didn't you know?
No.
And I suppose Superintendent Dunphy didn't know either.
Superintendent Dunphy of Scotland Yard? What makes you think he'd know?
Because I just saw him leaving here. Well, he told me I'd get married again, but I never imagined that he'd pick my wife for me.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You came here to report the disappearance of your wife, right?
Yes.
Then sit down here and let me fill in the details for the report. What's your wife's name?
Her name is Julie Spencer.
Did you say Spencer?
Why? You know her?
Julie Spencer. I think I do.
Yeah, I might have known it.
I'm sure she was one of the people involved in an investigation here.
What investigation?
If my memory serves me right, it was in May 1967. That's right. Here we are.
What happened?
You mean you didn't know about it? Julie Mallory, née Spencer. Trial dates May 13th to May 20th. Psychiatrist demonstrates that the accused was mentally ill. Remanded for treatment to the Shepherd Clinic.
That's nonsense.
Julie Spencer was accused of killing her husband, Frank Mallory. That's it, Mr. Anderson. If you ask me, some sort of shock has made her insane again.
What do you mean, insane?
Why didn't she tell you about it?
No. What was the name of that clinic?
Dr. Shepherd's.
Thanks.
I doubt if you'll find her at the clinic. Mr. Anderson!
I'd like to see Dr. Shepherd, please.
Your name, sir?
He doesn't know me. Just tell him I'm Julie Spencer's husband.
That way, sir.
Julie Spencer. Yes, I remember her. She was here nearly 3 years. Responded well. I don't think she would have done anything silly. I hope not, at least.
What do you mean?
That she's just pretending. That's typical of her paranoia.
Then she's not completely cured.
Well, it's very difficult to know when a patient like that is cured. Like some tea?
No, no thanks.
I decided to discharge her because she'd responded so well to her treatments. She promised to get down here and see me occasionally. I'm afraid she hasn't, actually.
Did she really kill her first husband?
During the trial, I showed how completely irresponsible she was. But in my opinion, she killed him. Or let him die. And that's quite sufficient to make her feel guilty.
Well, what should I do?
It's a very delicate situation. So be patient a while. She'll turn up at home later, I'd say. I think you should wait there.
Thank you, Doctor.
And act completely naturally when she finally does get home, as if nothing had happened.
Tell me, how is Julie? We share the same room here. She said she'd never get married again. Why has she done it?
I don't know.
Please take good care of her. And don't let her go near the lake. Remember, the lake.
What the hell are you doing here?
Waiting for you, of course. Your woman told me to wait, though I must admit she wasn't very happy about it. Beautiful gun this is, Mr. Anderson.
Do you mind? Now, if you have any specific questions to ask me, please do so. If not, I prefer to be left alone.
Alone? You mean that your wife hasn't returned yet?
No.
Where is she?
If I knew where she was, I wouldn't have called the police, would I?
But I think calling the police is really very clever. What I call a red herring, Mr. Anderson. I must say you're a very cool man. Confess, eh? Where have you hidden her body?
Oh, hello, darling. What a day. Oh, I'm so tired.
Julia, this is Superintendent Dunphy of Scotland Yard, my wife.
How do you do?
How do you do? You see your wife?
Are you staying? Would you like a drink?
No. Thank you very much. I must be running along now. It's been a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Anderson. I do hope we'll meet again.
Well, let's put these away, shall we? So late, I'm sorry. It was half closing day in the village. I had to drive into London. Oh, the traffic was unbelievable.
Julie.
I know. I behaved terribly last night. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I've been looking for you all day. I thought something had happened. I saw your car by the edge of the cliff, but there was no sign of you.
I decided to go for a swim early this morning. Oh, the water was freezing. Would you like a whiskey?
Yes, thank you. Julie, tell me the truth. Where have you been?
I told you. I bought a new dress. It's beautiful. I'll go and change while you have your drink. We'll have dinner alone. Just the two of us.
Felicity? Felicity?
She's not here. I gave her the night off because I wanted to be alone with you. How do I look?
Magnificent. Don't tell me you're going to cook dinner dressed like that.
No, we're having cold dishes.
Well, looking at you now, I'd say that your day in London was very well spent.
Arthur, if you could overlook my strange behavior last night, we could begin again, couldn't we?
Darling, I'd like to begin again, but it isn't possible unless we're honest with each other now. Why didn't you tell me you'd been married before?
How did you find that out?
Does that matter?
Who told you?
Dr. Shepard.
I wish you hadn't gone there. It's a terrible place.
Yes, it is. But sometimes you have to go to terrible places to find out the truth.
You're right, of course. It's much better that we know all there is to know about each other. No matter how difficult that might be. Did Dr. Shepard tell you that I killed my husband?
No, he said it was an accident.
I don't think it was an accident. I let him die. I'll never forget the look in his eyes.
Julie, all that's over and done with. You've got to forget about it.
Can you forget about Gladys? Don't you feel any remorse?
No, why should I?
I wish I could be like that. Maybe that's the fascination, the reason why I had to meet you. When I read in the newspapers about the trial, I couldn't stay away.
You weren't afraid?
No. I've often thought about dying. I tried to commit suicide, but I didn't have the nerve. Maybe that's why I really married you.
No, I don't believe that's why you married me. Dr. Shepard told me that you, well, not completely cured, that you needed rest and someone to look after you.
Poor Arthur. I've tricked you.
Hmm?
I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to leave me.
No, I'm not going to leave you. And I have no intention of helping you kill yourself. I have very, very different ideas.
Hello? Yes, it's me. Listen, I can't go through with it. I'm getting too involved. No, I mean involved emotionally. That means I'm falling in love with him. You've got to get me out of here. I'm afraid.
Julie! Who are you talking to?
What are you doing with that gun?
I was cleaning it. I thought I'd go shooting later today. Now, who are you calling and what are you afraid of? I mean, do you think you found out something about me? Were you calling the police?
Oh, no. I wasn't calling the police. I haven't found out anything. And I don't want to know anything.
For God's sake, Julie, we went through all this last night. Now, for the last time, who was that on the telephone?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Julie! Julie, come back! Julie!
Sergeant, if you continue to lean on me, you'll feel the weight of my authority.
Yes.
Yeah. If you were here, why the blazes couldn't you open the door?
Because you didn't give me time.
Well, you can have me up for breaking and entering if it'll make you feel any better. So, our little game is over, eh? I admit I don't have a search warrant, but you don't mind if I look around, do you? Where is she?
Where is who?
The fourth Mrs. Anderson. Her car's been found in a country lane. Oh, you're repeating yourself, Mr. Anderson. I remember your first wife was killed in a road accident. Didn't they say her brakes failed on her?
Oh, for Christ's sake, leave me in peace.
I'm not sure if I appreciate your tone. You should show me a little respect, look you. I know all about you, Mr. Anderson. I've had men following you from the beginning, so I know it all. Mr. Anderson, where's your wife?
In the bedroom.
You mean alive? Come on, Sergeant, we can only hope we're in time. She's still breathing. Call an ambulance and advise the yard, Sergeant.
Oh, don't be so damn stupid. It's only a slight concussion.
That's what you say. But will the pathologist agree? If nothing else, Mr. Anderson, we'll get you for attempted murder.
But who is this girl, sir?
How the blazes did you ever get to be a sergeant? You bloody idiot. It's Julie Spencer, Mr. Anderson's wife.
This girl is not Julie Spencer.
Sergeant Bates, will you call the ambulance and advise the yard that... What was that you said?
I know Julie Spencer well, sir. I was the one that arrested her. And that girl is not Julie Spencer.
Yes, of course. Very commendable, Sergeant. Where is she? You've hidden her, haven't you?
Hidden who?
Don't you give me that, eh? Your wife, Julie Spencer.
Look, I don't understand. This is my wife.
If you don't understand, then I'll explain it to you, and you better damn well understand it then. If this girl is not Julie Spencer, eh? Then where is Julie Spencer?
Doesn't he look awful?
It's true, Frank. Your wife's here. What shall we do?
Nothing. Just ignore her. Get out of here, Julie. Can't you see I'm busy?
Yes. I bet you are too, Frank. Let's think of something really interesting to do. Frank, does Julie still trust you?
I haven't even thought about it. She's used to me now. She's a very understanding little wife. Right, Julie?
Frank!
Julie, why'd you come back to this house? It doesn't help you at all. You must look to your future. If you keep coming back here, you'll never forget that man. No, Julie. This house is not the ideal...
Why did you force me to do it again, Frank? But it's the end, I promise you. Because I found her. I found your wife, Julie Spencer. And she'll never hurt you again. Like now. Like before. Because I'm going to kill her.
Taking a long time to come round, isn't she?
I gave her a sedative.
Yes, don't worry about it. No, it won't be necessary. Listen, Mr. Anderson. The woman in your bedroom is not Julie Spencer. St. George's Chapel, where you say you were married, has been closed for over 20 years. What's more, nowhere in this county is there a Reverend Fowler.
What are you saying?
All that's been confirmed by births, deaths, and marriages. You are playing a diabolical game of some sort, and I want to know what it is, look you. Well, Mr. Anderson? You may as well answer it. I bet it's your doctor saying he's unable to make it.
Hello?
Is Julie Spencer there, please?
Julie Spencer?
Yes.
Who's this speaking?
Julie Spencer.
Listen, I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. Did you say that you are Julie Spencer? Yes. Well, why are you calling? What do you want?
Julie killed her husband. She must be prevented from doing that again.
Now, listen, I have something very important to tell you concerning Julie Spencer. Where are you calling from? Yes. The old house on the hill. Will you wait for me there, please? Hello? Hello?
Hey, what the... Hey, where the hell do you think you're going, Anderson? Wait a minute.
It's the real Julie Spencer. Don't you understand?
Yeah, I understand perfectly, but you're not leaving here.
Don't you want to find out the truth? Well, so do I. I've got to see that woman right away.
All right, but not alone. Bates! Bates!
What are you going to do?
Yes, Superintendent?
We're going to accompany our Mr. Anderson.
What, the three of us, and leave my wife alone?
Don't worry about her. There's another man outside on watch. Nothing will happen to her. Shall we go?
Have you been sent by the police, Doctor?
Yes, Constable. I'm the nurse he called.
The lady of the house is upstairs in the bedroom. This way. Would you like me to take you up there?
No, thank you. I can find the way.
Well, if there's nothing you need, miss, I'll be on my way. I have to report back to the station. Good night.
Arthur. Arthur? Who's there? Who's there? Answer me.
There's no need to be afraid. Don't you know me? Julie Spencer.
What are you doing here? What do you want?
To speak to you.
Look, it's true that I rented your house and tried to impersonate you, but I didn't mean to do you any harm.
But I don't understand you, Julie. What made you rent your own house and impersonate yourself? You see, I've come to help you, my dear. Your problems are over.
What do you mean, help me?
Help you to die. Have you forgotten your fears, Julie? The terrible remorse for being a murderess. It can all be finished with now, Julie.
Oh, no. No, my name is Lillian.
It's not. Your name is Julie Spencer. And you have just killed Frank, your husband.
Oh, don't come any closer.
And now I'm going to stop you before you can kill him again.
Nothing. Not a living soul. Why did Dr. Shepard come here instead of to your place?
I don't know, unless...
Well, speak up, man. Nobody's accusing you of this one.
Well, he knew that this was Julie Spencer's house. He probably didn't know of any other.
Go on. Go on.
Well, I didn't tell him we were living in Warwick Manor.
No, what are you doing?
That woman who called a little while ago, the real Julie Spencer, was looking for my wife.
Meaning?
Who do you think did that? There's no answer.
Hey, now where do you think you're off to?
Back to my place. Now, come on.
Right. Sergeant, advise the yard. Stay here and keep your eyes open.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What are you two doing here?
And where's Travis?
When we got here, we didn't see anybody. The door was open.
Well, where's my wife?
We looked all over the house for her. I don't know.
Mr. Mitchell, you wouldn't like to tell me what's going on, would you?
Lillian telephoned me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and who's Lillian?
Well, for God's sake, Superintendent, she's not here. Now, what are you going to do?
Calm down, if you please, Anderson. I know the whole story. And that is the woman you married's named Lillian, but you weren't really married.
What?
Yes, these two gentlemen here fix it. Tell him.
Well, I didn't...
Well, where the hell is she?
I don't know, I swear it.
Oh, but you know who she is. Come on, tell him.
She's Lillian Martin, Gladys's sister.
Gladys? Don't be daft. The one you drowned in the pool, Mr. Anderson.
Gee. Lillian came to see me just a few days after the funeral. She just arrived from America. She was convinced you'd killed her sister, and she wanted revenge. To demonstrate your guilt, she proposed a plan that I thought was crazy. But she told me you didn't know her, that you'd never met each other.
Yes, Lillian was the one who really worked it out. The false marriage ceremony was her idea, too. Wait a minute, Mr. Anderson, I'll explain to you. You see, actually, I just worked for Mr. Mitchell's company, and Lillian Martin felt I looked like a priest.
Yo, some people are born lucky.
So it was all a trick. Well, why did she pretend to be Julie Spencer?
You wouldn't have accepted her if you'd known she was Gladys's sister. Moreover, Julie Spencer was a millionairess with a mysterious past. The perfect sort of bait, so we thought...
Thought I might murder her.
I'm sorry, it was just that...
Mr. Mitchell! That mysterious millionairess, the real Julie Spencer, is a mad woman. Now, she's already killed one person, and it's quite likely that she'll kill again. And right now, I'm pretty damn sure she's with my wife. Do you understand?
Hey, but where would she have taken her?
I don't know, but I'm going to try and find out. The lake. That woman at the clinic said, don't let her go near the lake.
What are you doing? Why did you bring me here?
To help you die. In the same place and manner Frank died.
But why me? It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know Frank.
You loved him. Only you were very jealous of him.
No, wait, please. Untie this rope and let me go. I promise not to say anything.
He had been drinking. He was tied up with a rope. And the rope was tied to the anchor. And the moment you pushed him over the side, it would have taken only a hand to pull him out. But you didn't offer it, did you? You let Frank drown. You could see him under the water. His eyes were open and pleading. And you just sat in the boat and watched him die.
No, it had nothing to do with me.
You killed him, Julie.
No,
And now you're going to die like Frank died.
No, please. Let me go.
No. You mustn't disappoint him. He's waiting for you.
Please!
say they are a handsome pair.
Your new insurance policy for £150,000. It's a genuine one.
No, thanks. I'm not interested.
Oh.
I am, though. It's in both our names.
It's a joint policy. If anything should happen to your wife, you would collect. But if anything happened to you, she would be the beneficiary. Well, have a good trip.
Bye.
Good luck.
You know, it's incredible. For more than a year, I was convinced he was a murderer, and now I'm beginning to think he's really a saint in disguise.
He's quite lost without a woman, you know. He only feels happy when he's in love. It's a pity that his women don't stay with him longer. I mean, well, he hasn't been very lucky with his wives, has he?